Yes, well, thank you all for making the time to be here with us today. It has been really a useful commentary as it relates to the challenges that we face. You know, affordable housing is key to all of the things, reducing poverty, creating a sustainable community, and avoiding the displacement that we hear so much about even in this hearing today. So there's a very good reason why we're here today. We are not special. This is a global crisis. This is the problem in Lagunitas is just as great in London. It's as great in San Anselmo as it is in San Jose. And it is not just a housing problem. This is an economic crisis brought on by the aggregation of wealth at the top and the lack of the transfer of wealth through our communities. It's showing up as a housing challenge, but it's really the fundamental problem that we have in our global capitalist economy. And so we're left with a handful of tools to try and fix what is actually a much larger broken problem. And I think that's really important for all of us to understand that we're fighting against that tide. The other thing that I think is interesting and I wanted to bring forward today, because in recent years, as there has been this pushback against transit-oriented development or creating housing around transit centers, then some people have wrapped themselves in this remarkable and beautiful documentary called Rebels with a Cause. And the Rebels with a Cause, for those who didn't see the documentary, are given credit for saving the last place, for keeping Marin the place that we are, for fighting to stop sprawl, to having the courage to stand up and say, we don't need to keep going in the direction that the society and the market are taking us. Well, if we go back to the countywide plan that they created to protect our county, the very first goal of that plan says, discourage rapid or disruptive population growth, but encourage social and economic diversity within communities and in the county as a whole. This is a choice in favor of slower growth rate and positive action to meet the needs of all social and economic segments of our community. What we did is we fought the war to prevent sprawl, but the mortal victims were the social diversity, because we don't have the tools to fight this larger capitalist supply and demand structure. And even then, their goal was to keep Marin from becoming 365,000 people and drive it down to 300,000 people by the year 1990. We're at 260,000 people. You could arguably say what's left on the table is the affordable housing that we don't have. The reality is our housing crisis is eroding our cohesion as a community. I feel it in this room. I think we feel it in our personal lives, our friends. So many who've given so much to our community and are now being forced away from the communities they've invested in so fully. Our employers are looking elsewhere for expansion because they realize they can't get the workforce here to do the jobs. And actually, communities that are more exclusively high income have lower productivity. So while we are taking advantage of this age of information, the kinds of jobs that we're creating are leaving behind for many people. Now, we're not going to solve it today. I think this has been useful to have this conversation.
John is in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government.